Okay, this is Unit 5 for History 5200. Be able to identify the following names. Leo III he crowned Charlemagne Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire on Christmas Day in 800 AD. Charlemagne supported Leo politically and militarily, and Charlemagne involved himself in iconoclastic controversy. He favored iconoclasm. That's Leo III crowned Charlemagne. Leo the Ninth, 1048 to 54, he was appointed by Henry III of the Holy Roman Empire, but walked barefoot into Rome to be elected by people. He was accompanied by Humbert and Hildebrandt, and began what is known as the Gregorian Reform. Leo IX's reign led to the East-West Schism. That's Leo IX. Gregory VII was Leo's other friend. Hildebrandt became Pope Gregory VII, after whom the Gregorian Reform is named. The Gregorian Reform aimed to emancipate clergy from secular control, centralize power of church by making clergy subject to pope, force civil rulers to act in pope's best interests. The tools of the papal control, and these are terms we need to know for later, are excommunication, which excludes the person from participation in the life of the church and grace it provides; interdict, prohibits clergy and territory from exercising their offices and administrating sacraments; civil ban, person declared an outlaw and all political obligations to him declared null and void; and lay investiture controversy, question of who had right to confer insignia of office upon bishops, abbots, and other clergy. Gregory VII had a conflict with Henry IV, the emperor, over the authority to appoint bishops. Henry called the council that deposed Gregory VII. Gregory excommunicated Henry. Henry was forced to beg Gregory's pardon. Gregory pardoned Henry. Gregory supported usurper against Henry in a civil war. Henry overcame, then marched against Rome. Gregory fled into exile where he died. He said, "I have loved justice and hated iniquity. Therefore I die in exile." That's all Gregory VII. Urban II was another Cluniac reformer. He was the last pope of Gregorian reform, decreed, quote, "truce of God." He was the pope of the First Crusade. Innocent III, that was Urban II. Now Innocent III, dominance of church and state, influenced election of Holy Roman Emperor Frederick II, forced King Philip II Augustus of France to reconcile with his wife, separated King Alfonso IX of Leon from his wife, who was too closely related. England, Aragon, Portugal, and Poland became papal fiefs, and they paid feudal taxes to the papacy. Failure. Magna Carta in 1215 was signed despite his objections that it challenged his authority. Innocent III sent the Fourth Crusade against Egypt. Innocent III was the first pope to refer to him as Vicar of Christ. And he said this, "Verily the representative of Christ, the successor of Peter, the anointed of the Lord, the God of Pharaoh, sent midway between God and man, below God but above man, less than God but more than man, judging all other men but himself, judged by none." He also said, "Princes have power in earth, priests over the soul. As much as the soul is worthier than the body, so much worthier is the priesthood than the monarchy." That's all Innocent III. Boniface VIII, war between Edward I of England and Philip IV the Fair of France, excessive taxation of clergy to finance war. Boniface VIII forbade the clergy to contribute to kings. He's known for Unum Sanctum in 1302. Christ's two swords under Pope's control is from Luke 22:38. The spiritual sword wielded by Pope. Temporal sword wielded by magistrate. Temporal sword is subservient to church. The spiritual sword can recall temporal power. Boniface abused papal power through simony and nepotism. He kidnapped and humiliated Philip's henchmen. His arrogant over-assertion of papal power set stage for Avignon papacy and papal schism. Gregory the Seventh began ascent, and Innocent III reached zenith. Boniface VIII descended the foothills of papal power. Bernard of Clairvaux, he was a monk from 1090 to 1153, gifted in meditation and preaching, champion of ecclesiastical reform, influenced the popes, especially Eugenius III. He was the enemy of theological innovation, preacher of the Second Crusade, and a hymn writer. That's all Bernard of Clairvaux. Thomas Becket, there was a conflict in England between Thomas and Henry II. Henry wanted to try clergy in royal courts. Thomas insisted on ecclesiastical trials. Henry passed Constitution of Clarendon. Thomas denounced Clarendon. Henry falsely accused Thomas, who fled to France and appealed to Alexander. Alexander negotiated Thomas's return. Thomas maintained opposition by excommunicating bishops who supported Henry. Henry, exasperated by Thomas's stubbornness, voiced desire to be rid of him. 4 knights took Henry at his word and murdered Thomas on altar of Canterbury Cathedral, December 29th, 1170. Henry conceded rights of ecclesiastical trials to church, and in 1173 Thomas Becket was canonized. That's all of Thomas Becket. Catherine of Siena was a Dominican laywoman, a mystic, a political activist, a correspondent with popes and kings, and involved with the Avignon papacy and the papal schism. That's Catherine of Siena.